Leadership is an innate quality bestowed upon certain individuals who are capable of assisting others to reach their highest heights and exceed their own expectations. Jason Melim is a San Diego business leader, a San Diego native, a real estate professional, a hashtag girl's dad, and a sports fanatic. He joined me this week to talk real estate trends in America, family life, business leadership, and so much more. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Melim is a 2020 San Diego Business Leadership Award recipient. Since he has the credentials, I began our conversation by asking him, in his view, what makes a good leader.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate the acknowledgement on that. It was I think I was one of four individual recipients of like 60 or so applicants in our San Diego region for a business leadership award. So thanks for the props on that. But leadership, I think a lot of times you think of the higher ups in your company and they're in a position of power. And for me, I've actually had it on my vision board for a while now, and it's a quote, and it says, "Leadership is not a position; it's an action." So, kind of regardless of what position you hold in a company you work for, or within your sphere of friends or your family, I think that what makes a great leader is somebody who just comes from a place of giving and value and just willing to do whatever it takes to be beneficial to somebody else with really nothing guaranteed in return. I think the more you can give, the more eventually, you'll gain from that in the long run. But I think giving with an expectation of not receiving anything and immediately is a key attribute for somebody kind of in a leadership position.
And I'm just curious to also get your thoughts in the times that we're living in. What do you think is the key to unifying us both in business and in societal life?
Yeah, and that's tough right now. It's that's the mainstream kind of question of the day, right? Is how can we not be as divided as, I know you're in Canada, but down here in the United States there's a lot of feeling of tension and people being divided. But I think if anything that's come from some very tragic events is that I just want to believe that there's more good in the world than there is evil. And I think if anything, with all the social media platforms and everything that we have access to kind of get the scoop on what's going on in the world, that people can kind of come together for a great cause. And I think if there's division on any front, it's just not a good recipe for success, whether that's personally in business. I think the more empathy people can have for one another and what other people are going through is super important. So, I think unity is key. I think that was a great word for it that I think we need. And I think the more unity, business, personal, whatever it is, the more cohesion there is and the more opportunity for success and happiness for everybody. So I think that was a good way to put it, Kevin.
And I know you've made the transition to real estate. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on the survey that came out from Zillow talking about home expectation and the prices between this year and next year. I think they predicted that it would go up 3.3%, and they actually only went up 2.7%. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on that survey and just current real estate trends that you're seeing.
Yeah, and when some of those Zillow reports come out, and I think that real estate is such a regional thing. Here in San Diego this last year, although kind of nationally, and those numbers maybe fell short of what the expectations were, but my personal home almost went up 5% in value from 2019 through where we're at now in 2020. So I think it kind of is regionally, but with the pandemic thing, the COVID-19, I think initially people thought that, hey, this is going to crumble housing again. We're going to have another big issue on our hands. But at least here in the US, inventory is limited. There's not a lot of homes for sale. Interest rates are very, very good right now. So there's a lot of buyers actually. And without a lot of homes to choose from, there's a lot of competition for those homes that are available to be purchased, which is keeping home prices very high. We have a lot of homes when they're listed that have 10 or more offers here in San Diego, and it's going over the listing, the asking price. So I think we're a little regionally, but I think, I think real estate's going to be strong, through 2021, at least here where I'm at in San Diego, in the US as a whole. In the last crash of the market, it was kind of the housing industry's fault. And this is a health crisis, not a housing crisis. So I think they're actually going to be kind of leaning on the housing market to keep the economy in the US kind of plugging along and going strong. So I think we're going to have a good, rest of 2020. And I think 2021 will be good as well, pending the craziness of COVID and what that means for everybody. If more people lose jobs, obviously more people, aren't qualified to buy a home. So we're all kind of holding our breath a little bit and trying to see what's going to happen. But I'm confident it's going to be a strong market for the next year or so.
When the Chargers left San Diego, that decision was met with plenty of anger, frustration, and sadness after the team had been a bedrock in the community for decades. So I asked Melim, a diehard Chargers fan, when they were in San Diego, to assess the mood on the ground amongst San Diegoans who were sad to see the team depart.
Yeah, and I think there's a mix. I think there's a mixed group. For me, I'm born and raised in San Diego, so that was my holy grail. I just can't. I've got a couple of these awesome signed jerseys up of Hall of Fame guys like, LaDainian Tomlinson that I won't take down or disrespect that, because that was part of me growing up. It was an amazing time for San Diego sports, but I just can't. I would be heartbroken if they won a Super Bowl in Los Angeles and not in San Diego. So I think there's a large group of people who are very anti-Chargers here in San Diego. And then you have the people who say, hey, that's the team I followed. These are my guys, and I'm going to follow them to LA or wherever they would go. Me personally, it would break my heart to see him win a Super Bowl. I'm actually glad to see Phillip Rivers move on and go to Indianapolis, and hopefully he can do something and get back in the playoffs there. But we'll see. It's definitely sad for the diehard, at one time Charger fans that were born and raised in San Diego, and we love football, and that was kind of stripped away from us. So, we'll see what the future holds for the Chargers as they rent out space in another team's stadium, and I don't know when we're going to see fans in a sporting event in California for a while. So we'll have to see it. It's going to be an interesting year coming up.
And what other sports trends are you most looking forward to following as we get back to this new normal?
Well, baseball, just kind of as we speak here, baseball's been going on for about a week now, and who knows if they're going to make it through a whole season, the more guys that test positive and they start postponing games and trying to do double headers, and it's just kind of unknown where we're going to be at. I'm just really excited to have something on TV again
You're
to
not the only one.
I know it was very, very boring when, we all went into this quarantine time, and I don't watch a lot of other, stuff on TV. So if it wasn't sports on, the TV's probably off, and it was off for a long time. So, here in San Diego, especially, we're excited. We're a little bit excited about the Padres and, kind of a young, good group of guys that are playing, well to start this young 2020 season. But we also have a lot like semi-pro and minor league type sports in San Diego that I myself love to go and support. We have indoor soccer and minor league hockey and indoor arena football and lacrosse. So those were all a lot of fun things to go to and kind of fill our time, but we're not able to do that at this time either. So at least I can kind of flip on the TV, and my daughter can start watching baseball kind of for the first time, and those are fun evenings for us too. So.
And I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, since you have his jersey in the background, what was your favorite LaDainian Tomlinson moment as a Charger?
Probably, what was it, like 2006 when he set that touchdown record, and just like, the image of all these, the linemen kind of hoisting him up, with him with the ball in one hand. And I think some of my favorite LT moments were just, from the 1 yard line, and the way he would just hurdle the line into the end zone and get the ball across. So there was a lot of exciting moments over those years. And, it was a fun time to watch and grow up, and kind of watch somebody's full career kind of pan out as I went through high school and college. So a lot of fun times. But I think that the breaking the touchdown record is a special one, because we don't have a ton of amazing record holding moments like that in San Diego sports.
And I'm just curious to also know, do you blame Chargers owner Dean Spanos for not doing enough to try and keep the Chargers in San Diego at all?
I think there's a lot of blame to go around. Dean Spanos is the extremely popular person to hate. He actually has his La Jolla mansion for sale right now in San Diego. So, we'll see if that ever sells. But I do think there was a lot on Dean's plate that I think he was ready to make a move, just for a lucrative standpoint. And I think that our kind of political figures were also not willing to kind of negotiate and just give them a new stadium for free kind of thing. So I think there's a little bit of blame to go around, but I would say definitely if Dean Spanos wanted it to be the San Diego Chargers and get a new stadium figured out, they could have absolutely done it. So I lay my blame on Dean, and I hope they never win a Super Bowl.
Now, is that the bitter San Diego native talking to you, or the diehard Chargers fan that didn't want them to leave? Which one we got there, bud?
I think that's a combo. I think the reason why I was so hurt by it was because I'm born and raised here. I have friends who came to San Diego State for college, and they were from other towns nearby that didn't have football. So, they were near San Diego, so they were Charger fans, and then they came here, and now they're LA Charger fans. So I think it's a little bit of my born and raised here kind of bitterness, but just something that meant so much to a lot of people. We're really bummed to see them go, and hopefully they fail at some level. And we wouldn't mind if somebody else miraculously bought the team and they came running back here. I would embrace them with open arms. But if they're the Los Angeles Chargers, that's kind of a sports rivalry anyway. San Diego, Los Angeles, we're not friends, so it makes it kind of hard. So I'm going to say it's my bitter born and raised San Diego ego getting in the way there.
And do you ever envision uh, the Chargers succeeding in LA? Because I really think that the Rams sort of have a monopoly on that market, and I don't think the Chargers will be as successful as they were hoping in LA. Just because I don't think they'll draw the same amount of interest. So, do you ever think that the Chargers have a path back to San Diego at all?
I think so. I think you're 100% right that they are not they're not the number one team in the LA market. I'd argue they're not the number two team. I think there's more people in LA who are Raiders fans than there are Chargers fans. So, if it doesn't work out, I think, and the what they're everybody calls the battle for LA or the fight for LA, whatever they're wanting to call it. But I think when that stadium opens up and those first season is played there, I think whoever's got the really strong team at that point is going to kind of, have a little bit of a leg up. And unfortunately, I do feel like that the Chargers have a good young group of guys that can, win some games. I have family from Oregon as well, so we're big Oregon Ducks fans. So I wasn't happy to see Justin Herbert go to the Chargers either, because it's a guy I've rooted for, through his college career, and now I don't really want to see him do well in
Oh,
in
you're
LA.
really bitter.
I know. It's that's the born and raised thing here, and I just can't do it. It's going to be hard to. I can't really root against a guy that I've really liked, for watching his whole college career. But I won't be mad if the Rams win a Super Bowl first. That's for sure.
Well, why wouldn't you just tell me how you really feel, huh? I got two more for you. The first is going back to real estate for just a second. Can you tell me what trends do you think will continue in real estate as we close out the year and going into next year?
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of new stuff in the last couple of years, and I think the pandemic and COVID thing kind of has escalated a lot of it, or kind of moved everybody forward faster than maybe people were ready. And I think it's if you see anything from the Zillows and Redfins, I think what they have 100% right is they are first to the consumer. They have consumer first in mind, with the home values. I like to tell some of my real estate partners that, hey, even if your neighbor is your best friend and you have the most amazing website, when they start looking for a home, they're going to go to Zillow first, regardless if they're going to do business with you or how awesome your site is, or if they do similar things. I think consumer attention in the next couple of years is going to be absolutely the most important thing, whether that's your social media presence, your website, how you appear in search. I think whoever is closest to the consumer is going to win. I don't think you can kind of sit back and just hope that your friends and family call you anymore. There's a lot of noise in the industry, and I think that consumer first, and whoever serves the consumer best is who's going to win in the next couple of years here.
And then my final question for you is I know that you're a hashtag girls dad and you've got some daughters, so I'm sure that they've kept you busy outside of the office. So what defines you outside of work? And I know that family is a big part of that as well.
Yeah, I have a almost 2-year-old baby girl. Her name's Ronnie. She's got her little FIFA soccer placard up there. So love my little girl. It's been super challenging being out of the office and having to have more responsibilities, trying to balance them, work and being there as much as I can for her. At the end of the day, I just want to give her whatever she wants. She's daddy's little girl, and if I can buy her a toy every time we walk through Target, or I just want to give her a good life that she can go and pursue whatever it is she wants to do in life. Doesn't matter to me. I hope she likes soccer or softball or whatever it is, so we can have fun going to watch some games and things like that as she grows up. But I just want to be supportive and let her chase whatever her dream is going to be. And It may not be the same as mine, and that's totally okay, but I just want to be, a leader at home, just like I feel like I am, in my business. Just give her the opportunity and support to be happy and do whatever it is she wants to do, regardless of what it is. I'm 100% in. So that's kind of my family girl dad kind of thing, and I just want to, you know, give her an awesome life and somebody that I can be proud of, and hopefully she's proud of everything that me and her mom are trying to work hard and accomplish for her too. So
Fantastic, Jason. Well, I want to take a few minutes to thank you for appearing on the program today. I really enjoyed our wide-ranging discussion. I want to thank you for being here, and have a great day, okay?
awesome. Thanks so much, Kevin. Anytime, anytime.